If I say Super Mario Maker, you probably think about the original Wii U version or even the sequel on the Nintendo Switch. If you were actually thinking about the 3DS version of the game, I'm sorry, you're officially a weirdo. Not only is it the worst version of Super Mario Maker you can play today, it doesn't even allow you to share your levels online and play them. What's the point then? Well, it contains 100 original levels created by Nintendo, and those levels are actually pretty fun to play, which is why today we're going to play them, but with a twist. The rules are simple. We are going to be playing all of the 100 levels in Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS without ever pushing left. This means no walking left, but it also means no stopping your momentum. So if you run too fast, there's just no way to slow down. How many levels are we going to be able to beat that way? Well, let's just jump into it. Right after you've hit the subscribe button and that beautiful bell. Okay, let's go. World 1-1 is the classic original 1-1 level from Super Mario Bros. And if you've watched my videos, we've proven that this one is possible without pushing left many times in the past. 1-2 contains some Koopas bouncing toward you and they can be a bit annoying, but by being careful, everything will be good. Oh, and watch out for this epic troll block, because if you hit it, you'll be stuck without any means of going left. 1-3 is easy, as long as you move slowly, because if you fall down, the Goombas and plants will eat you whole. 1-4 is a very easy castle level, so you won't have any problem whatsoever. World 2-1 is an easy underwater level featuring tons of blocks. Just make sure to avoid getting stuck under one of those and you'll beat this stage in no time. 2-2 is a very problematic level though. This one is a remake of a level in Super Mario Bros. 3. And I remember having issues with this one back then in the Wii U version of Mario Maker. Basically, the problem is that at the end over there, you're meant to hit some Koopas that break open a way for you to enter this pipe, but that would require you to go left. Thankfully, this 3DS remake actually includes big Koopa shells that you can just bring with you using a raccoon tail. By bringing the shell with you, you can smash it into the bricks and open up the way without ever needing to go left. Nice! 2-3 is yet another Super Mario Bros. 1 remake, so it's actually quite easy to beat. 2-4 was okay at first, forcing you to run with a P-switch, but sadly, this next part absolutely forces us to move left, which means it's not possible for this quest. World 3-1 is yet another remade level from Mario. Come on Nintendo, stop being lazy! 3-2 is a weird level featuring buildings, trees, and there's a bunch of arrows pointing at the end. It's definitely a level made by little Timmy that can easily be cleared without pushing left. 3-3 is not very difficult, as long as you release the run button and take your time. 3-4 is an auto-scrolling level full of lava bubbles, so make sure to stay on the left side and everything will be okay. World 4-1 is yet another remake. Bruh, come on Nintendo! 4-2 usually wants you to fly with the feather cape, but that requires pushing left and right, and we cannot push left. So instead we'll have to do a spin jump to clear this first gap, but once that is done, the rest of the level is actually quite easy. 4-3 requires you to move left quite a bit, but since the level is using the new Super Mario Bros. Game theme, then we can do some wall jumps to move left without actually pushing left. By jumping while we have the momentum, we can actually reach all of the keys to open up the doors and beat this stage. Nice! 4-4 forces you to do precise jumps, but if you follow the pesky coins, everything will be good. In World 5-1, make sure to use a Koopa shell to hit the block to create a vine, because if you hit the block from underneath, well, you'll be stuck. 5-2 is an easy level, as long as you bring a spring with you. 5-3 is a level where you need to enter multiple pipes to solve multiple puzzles, but they usually force you to move left, meaning this one is not possible. 5-4 is a slow auto-scroller that was actually not that bad at first, but near the end you'll see this part, which clearly forces us to move left. Cringe. World 6-1 is actually quite easy if you're being careful while jumping above the many obstacles. 6-2 is just plain easy. Avoid the Goombas and you'll reach the end in no time. 6-3 features some very annoying bouncing donuts, and these guys can be quite a pain in the butt to deal with. Thankfully, they also bounce you left, which allows us to move left, which can prove to be helpful at times. 6-4 is some sort of automatic level where all you have to do is to stay crouched and jump when needed. No left press required. World 7-1 isn't too bad, but I'd suggest grabbing a helmet to break blocks and save you from getting stuck under the bricks. 7-2 forces you to survive against the tower of enemy, but it's not that bad. 7-3 contains so many hammer bros, but as long as you have your trusty helmet on top of your head, everything will be fine. I wish I could say the helmet would save you from World 7-4 too, but sadly we are actually forced to move left once we reach this part in the castle, making this stage impossible. World 8-1 is actually quite easy, and when we need to move left, we can just do a wall jump, so no worries. 8-2 never forces us to move left, but make sure to move super slowly, because you need to stand on top of these very tiny parabeetles, and that is easier said than done. 8-3 is a level giving away thousands of yucky gross yellow coins. I don't like it. 8-4 is a remake from Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. No need to push left here. 8-5 was a very easy level, all the way till the very last part where we are actually forced to move left to grab the flagpole. That sucks. 8-6 contains so many enemies to bounce on, and without the left button, the momentum can be a real problem to deal with, but eventually I made it to the end alive. World 9-1 is an easy level. I do have to say that I was a little bit afraid of the boss fight, but I soon realized we don't actually need to do it. See ya, Junior! 9-2 contains quite a few boos, and not being able to push left means they're following us and we cannot stop them. Whew, scary. 9-3 is a level that forces us to do wall jumps, and without the use of the left button, I was actually forced to do one-sided wall jumps, which are quite tricky to pull off and require way too much skill. While I did manage to do a few, once I reached this part with the fire thingies, I was just out of luck. This level is not possible. 9-4 was very easy, and so was 9-5, as both these levels have nothing that forces us to push left. 9-6 was also not too bad, just keep running on the treadmills and avoid the shells. 9-7 is a remake of a Super Mario Bros. 3 level. Keep running above the pipes and make that epic gamer jump, and then you'll soon reach the end. 9-8 is a scary level taking place on skull coasters. Not being able to control your momentum is quite scary, but the level contains a few checkpoint flags, which were actually very helpful for this quest. World 10-1 is a remake of the Goomba Shoe level from Mario 3, and if you remember correctly, this level forces us to move left all the time, so sadly we cannot beat it. 10-2 also forces us to move left a couple of times, and that's a shame, because for the quest, we can't. The rules were simple, no pushing left. 10-3 is a remake of a very easy Super Mario World level, so no left presses will be required here. 10-4 is a level where you need to move right while dodging Bowser and his fireballs. It's actually kind of easy. World 11-1 will force you to move left quite a lot, but thankfully this level is full of treadmills, so no need to ever press the yucky left button. 11-2 is also quite easy. Just play the level normally and you'll reach the end in no time. 11-3 contains a few enemies to dodge, but they won't force you to push left. 11-4 asks you to choose your difficulty, and since I cannot control my momentum in this quest, well, I went for the easy path, which was, well, easy. Call me a chicken, I don't care, it works, it's possible, and I'm not regretting my choice whatsoever. World 12-1 is easy, as long as you hop into a beautiful flying Koopa clown car and move to the right. And I can say pretty much the same thing about 12-2, except this one will also contains an epic boss fight at the end. Guess what? 12-3 is another Koopa clown car level, and it's easy as long as you know the way to go. 12-4 is yet again a Koopa clown car level. Okay, sure. Keep moving and you'll reach the end in no time. World 13-1 will force us to do a few wall jumps to move left at the beginning of the stage, but we can do that just fine. 13-2 is a dumb level where you just have to stand still and wait for the P-switch to move your way. Boring. 13-3 is quite easy and will never force you to move left, so we're good. 13-4 contains some bouncing plants that we have to avoid, but that's it really. 13-5 contains a few scary jumps, but with the propeller suit, everything will be good. 13-6 is very scary looking, but since we can do wall jumps to move left, it's actually possible to beat it. World 14-1 contains a few big boos to avoid, but it's thankfully not too difficult to do so. 14-2 contains some annoying beetles, but they're not that bad. 14-3 is an easy underwater stage, as long as you avoid those big spiky skewers. For 14-4, well, just be patient, avoid all of the fireballs, grab a few mushrooms along the way, and everything will be good. World 15-1 on the other hand will force us to move left, but it will also force us to use Yoshi to cross those big gaps, and sadly, Yoshi cannot do wall jumps, meaning this level is not possible. 15-2 is a slow auto-scrolling level featuring a couple of annoying enemies, but you'll never have to move left, so it's all good. 15-3 is a very easy level and will be beaten in no time. 15-4 can be a bit annoying as it takes place on moving snake blocks, but you can typically move left by doing some short hops, so it shouldn't be too difficult to clear this one. World 16-1 contains a bunch of bouncing donuts, and while playing, I made a mistake and was supposed to be stuck over there, but a glitch actually saved me. Nice. 16-2 is about running as fast as you can to get to the end before the superstar power runs out. 16-3 contains a bunch of falling platforms and it's actually quite scary. I died a couple of times, but eventually I made my way to the end. 16-4 will require you to move left quite a lot, but there's always a way to do it with a well-placed wall jump, so no worries. World 17-1 is not too difficult, but make sure to spin jump on the enemies to get to the end. 17-2 on the other hand will force us to move left multiple times, making it impossible for this quest. 17-3 is a level that will force you to grab bombs and use them to move right. And when you need to move left, well, there's always going to be a wall to jump off of. 17-4 is actually quite easy and won't force us to move left. Same thing for 17-5, a very normal level that is full of ice blocks, 17-6, a level full of conveyor belts, and 17-7, a level full of boos. All easy stages. Sadly, 17-8 contains a few parts where we are actually forced to push the left button, making this one impossible. World 18-1 features our friend the Koopa Clown car. Fly to the pipe near the end and you'll be good. 18-2 is also quite easy, featuring a couple enemies but nothing that will ruin your day. 18-3 on the other hand wants us to grab a shoe to then move left over there. This is simply not possible. Same thing with 18-4, a level which drops us down this pipe and wants us to grab the key on the left side of the stage. Just impossible. 18-5 is super easy. Run and fly to the end of the stage. 18-6 is also quite easy, as long as you do ground pounds to stop your momentum on the skull coaster. 18-7 is a very easy underwater stage, and the Shellmet will actually protect you from all of the obstacles falling from above. 18-8 is a big castle with multiple challenges where you need to move left, so this one is impossible. World 19-1 starts off just fine, with a few things to avoid, but eventually you'll reach this part, which clearly wants us to move left, but sadly I didn't manage to skip it. 19-2 is quite annoying, and you'll have to dodge many things, but it's possible to do it. 19-3 is full of fire bars, but they won't be much of a problem in the quest. 19-4 is super easy. Simply grab a Goomba shoe and get to the end. 19-5 is very stressful, as you have to run from one P-switch to the next before everything turns back into coins. And since you'll be doing wall jumps, well, this is very stressful. I thought the end was impossible, but a well-timed jump will allow you to clear this gap and get to the flagpole. Nice! 19-6 is easy and will not be a problem at all. 19-7 was actually quite difficult, as controlling your momentum is not easy, but I managed to beat the stage anyways. 19-8 is not too difficult, and wall jumps will help you quite a lot. 19-9 was scary looking, but ended up being very easy, which is actually good. 19-10 is some sort of ghost house puzzle stage and will force us to move left, making it impossible for the quest. 19-11 was a very easy level, and last but not least, 19-12 forced us to do tons of one-sided wall jumps, which actually really hurt my hands quite a lot. But yes, it is possible to do it. So, out of the 100 levels in this game, 16 were actually not possible to do without pushing left. Meaning there's actually 84 that are possible. So hey, 84, that's a pretty good score, right? That's at least a B, huh? I hope you enjoyed this challenge, and if you want to see more, well, make sure to tap the cards on screen right now, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching, and as for me, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!